You're watching Global News at Noon.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, today marks day 6 of the Valley Line running between Millwoods and downtown with paying passengers. And so far, the reviews are pretty positive. Going back, this was a project we first started to talk about back in 2008, so 15 years ago. So in these very early days, is it all living up to expectations? David Cooper is the founder of Leading Mobility, a transportation consulting agency, and he's here to offer some analysis. David, we should point out you've worked on with other cities on their transportation projects, but not specifically on the Valley Line.
No, I've worked on LRT expansion and rapid transit expansion in cities like Calgary and Toronto and Vancouver, but I'm born and raised here in Edmonton and been watching the Valley Line from 15 years ago, as you mentioned, on when the planning process started.
Okay, so take us through. You've been on the line a couple of times. What are your initial impressions so far?
So I went on the line yesterday and the day before, and what's really exciting to me is I was on a full train. It was a full standing load train leaving downtown, going towards Bonnie Doon and Millwoods, and in transit planning, a full train is a happy train. And to see Edmontonians transition and take the LRT and just be in awe of the views, the access, the opportunity to really get across city in different ways has been really exciting to see.
Okay, so obviously from one point of view, success is measured by ridership, but when it comes to this particular line, the Valley Line, the low-floor LRT, the route that was chosen, it's also about transit-oriented development. So sites along the line where residential towers will go up. So far, that really hasn't materialized. So what's your take on that?
Well, first, to have a line with the 30,000 riders a day expected is definitely an expectation. The line was chosen, this alignment was chosen for land use planning purposes, and we've seen one tower go up in Holyrood. We've seen some sites that are starting to get some movement on. What provides developers clarity is rails in the ground and trains running, and now we have both. So I think what you'll see is the city's done a lot of work on district planning. We've seen a lot of work in terms of the priority growth areas. When you look at the priority growth areas of this part of the city, it's Millwoods, it's Bonnie Doon, it's the whole Valley Line West alignment that's coming up where they want to focus the development in those areas. So that area around Bonnie Doon, there's 8,000 more residents that are planned by the end of the decade, and that area is going to be the concentration of those 8,000 residents. And you'll see that all across the city. You have much simple design when it comes to the access to the stations. You can turn up and go, and I think once people really start moving towards taking the LRT full time and we see the trains running over a period of time, you'll see that evolution of land use happen.
What if that evolution doesn't happen quickly? Because we're not at Vancouver where they're constrained. I mean, there's a lot of prairie here, and psychologically people still want that single family home with the backyard. What if TOD doesn't happen? Could the line still be qualified as a success based on ridership alone?
Well, these lines are planned where there already is transit demand, where we see a lot of residents that already use the bus system. This Valley Line Southeast replaces one of the busiest bus routes in town, but at the end of the day, people need somewhere to live, and it's going to be a citywide conversation on this. The city is going to direct that growth and development in the inner city along the Valley Line. That's proper planning practice. When a developer comes in with a development application, let's say they come in today into the city to do a development application, that takes 3 to 5 years to go through the planning process, the approvals, the construction, all those kind of components. Land economics is going to be a conversation on this. When the Canada Line opened in Vancouver, the city of Vancouver rezoned and upzoned the Canby Corridor years later, and we saw the evolution of land use over time. And I think you will definitely see that here at Edmonton. There's 27 kilometers of the Valley Line, lots of land, lots of opportunity, lots of ability to do that intensification along the line. Okay,
so right now the trains have that new train smell. I want to talk about, cleanliness, safety, security. So people are riding it right now. They're really, really liking that new aspect. What happens if the city, we as a community, don't maintain that safety, security, cleanliness?
So the core principles of running transit is clean, safe, and reliable. And what we're going to see in terms of what the city's doing, right now we're doing what I would call a soft launch. Ottawa did not do this, and Ottawa's definitely still having some teething pains on their LRT system 4 years later. The city is seeing how the system works at a 10-minute frequency. We're going to go to 5-minute frequency when there's definitely that confidence to do so, and I think we will get there rather soon. The safety piece, the design of the stations is so different from what we have on the Capital and Metro line. The Capital and Metro line, you have to go up, down, left, right. We have elevated stations, we have underground stations, we have stations in a whole bunch of different designs. This one's very different. You can see the sight lines, you can see other customers. In terms of safety or crime or disorder is really based on opportunity. If you have people that see each other from a frontline staff perspective, or you see transit customers from each other, you're going to have way less opportunity for those kind of concerns. Well, I went on it at night intentionally 2 nights ago. What did I see? Lots of riders. I saw Edmonton police officers. I saw lots of frontline staff and a lot of well-lit places. Everyone can see each other, and I don't think we're going to have those kind of concerns to the level that we may have had these conversations about in other parts of the system.
But the city has to remain vigilant on this
You have
issue.
to. Like, this is something that the 3 core principles of clean, safe, reliable are things that you always have to be laser focused on, and that's not just the City of Edmonton, that's transit agencies in general. You have to get those core principles right to keep the ridership and to keep the confidence of the public in your public transit service.
Okay, and that means a return on investment for the multi-billion-dollar investment. David, thank you so much for your time and your analysis. It's greatly appreciated.
Thank you for having me.